From Concord University in Athens, West Virginia, this is Mountain Lion News.
Hello and welcome to Mountain Lion News. I'm Harper Emsch.
And I'm Hannah Gates.
Concord University has no doubt been affected by the current pandemic, and that's why we've been bringing you scheduled updates on the status of COVID-19 here on Concord University's campus. This week it has been reported by both the COVID-19 Totals tab on the CU website and the President herself via email that there are currently 17 positive cases of COVID-19, the majority of them within the Concord University athletics departments. This prompted the President's email, which she said was done to explain the campus's approach and to not cause alarm. As a result of the COVID-19 numbers rising within the last week, the university made the decision to quarantine entire teams with affected team members, even though not all have tested positive. This measure was taken out of caution and does not reflect actual numbers due to quarantined students. With only 3 weeks left in the on-campus semester, the university hopes that these measures will continue to encourage the low numbers of COVID-19 that we have seen compared to other institutions across the nation for the rest of the semester. That was all for this week's Concord COVID update. Stay tuned and stay safe for next time.
And now to find out more on the effects of COVID on our community colleges, here's MLN reporter Matt Yancey.
Here at Southern West Virginia Community and Technical College, the halls are empty and the classrooms are quiet. Thanks to COVID-19, schools had to act swiftly to fight the deadly disease. Southern wasted no time in switching to a mostly all-online system. On July 24, 2020, 3 weeks before the start of their fall semester, on August 18, 2020, Southern made the call to switch to virtual classes. With the exception of in-person labs, the previously in-person classes have all switched to virtual learning. I got to speak to Morgan Preston, an information technology student at Southern, on what the switch to all online has been like.
It's easy to procrastinate. So it's a lot more different than online classes. I feel personally that I work a little bit better in real-time classes, but we've incorporated a lot of Zoom meetings with all our classes, and it's helped us out a lot because we can have still that face-to-face conversation with our student and peers, things like that. So it's not too awful. We've adapted to it.
Here at Southern West Virginia Community and Technical College, they have acted swift to avoid a COVID outbreak on campus by switching to an all-online nature. However, though, more technical challenges have come up in its stead. I talked to Jeffrey Yeager, a professor in English, on some challenges his classes have faced this semester.
It's difficult. I mean, our students come from a wide variety of backgrounds. Some of them don't have very good internet. Some of them, frankly, just don't have very good technology skills. So many of them are contacting me needing help with basic computing things. So, of course, when they're worried about that, they're not necessarily getting the material. So, going all online for folks that can sometimes be a little technologically illiterate is a challenge.
This has been Matthew Yeager with Mountain Lion News, coming straight from Concord University, signing off.
Tomorrow, the citizens of West Virginia and America at large will find themselves participating in perhaps the most important civic duty an average person can expect in their life: voting. With America being in its most divided state since the Civil War due to issues of police brutality, the poor economy, and of course COVID-19, it is essential that every American have their voice heard. And while many have already participated through absentee and early voting measures, many more still have the chance to vote tomorrow. So here is what you need to do. Make sure you bring your voter ID and check your ID for both your county and municipal polling place. After you're showing your ID, all you have left to do is wait in line with COVID protocol, meaning wear your mask and keep 6 feet apart from all others in the line, and serve your civic duty. We're all depending on you.
Join historical figures as they share life stories virtually. Over the next month, Concord University Theater will be presenting student-written living history performances directed by Karen Varanch. The series of performances will be hosted on the virtual meeting platform Zoom and will be held November 11th and November 18th. The last living history performance was held on October 28th, featuring the characters of Edgar Allan Poe, Mary Shelley, and Jelly Jane Toppin. Log on to see the other performances featuring Fred Rogers and Doris Day. All actors have worked very hard to see their historical figures come to life, and they hope you log on to see them. All performances will be presented at 7 p.m., and the admission is free for Concord campus community and the general public. The Zoom meeting ID is 923-2892-2540.
The Concord University Foundation is announcing that the 2020 Beckley-Raleigh County Foundation Dinner, scheduled for November 5, 2020, has been postponed due to recent increases in COVID-19 cases in the surrounding area. The event has been rescheduled for April 22, 2021, and guests will still have the opportunity to hear motivational speaker J.R. Martinez, a burn survivor, Army veteran, actor, New York Times bestselling author, and winner of Dancing with the Stars. Martinez will join guests live via Zoom that evening to share his journey through his inspirational presentation, Facing Adversity with Optimism and Resilience. The dinner will take place in the Bright Ballroom at the resort at Glade Springs. The reception will begin at 5 p.m., and the meal will be served at 7 p.m., and Martinez will virtually join guests live at 8 p.m. Proceeds from the Beckley dinner contribute to the Foundation's annual fund, which supports student scholarships and campus improvement projects. For additional information, to purchase a ticket, or to become a sponsor, visit www.concord.edu/Beckley dinner.
And now for all things in sports, we send it over to Ian Jewell.
Thanks, Hannah. This weekend, esports players are invited to showcase their skills while competing for Concord University scholarships and other prizes during the upcoming Concord Scholarship Invitational. The tournament is being hosted by Concord Esports and produced by Elo Hell Esports. Also partnering to present the tournament are Appalachian Eye Care and HyperX. The two-day event will be held on Saturday, November 7th and Sunday, November 8th from 10 a.m. to 6 p.m. Both days there is no entry fee to compete, and the tournament is for PC players only and will be hosted online. The competition will be broadcast on Concord's Twitch channel as well at www.twitch.tv/Concord University. For more information about the tournament, you can contact esports coach Austin Clay at akclay@concord.edu or at 585-659-3004. Now moving into national news, it's been a busy few weeks in sports as we move into November with the Los Angeles Lakers coming out victorious 4-2 against the Miami Heat to win the NBA Finals as LeBron James picks up his 4th NBA Finals MVP, which has to feel pretty sweet as the Los Angeles Dodgers also knock out the Tampa Bay Rays in 6 to win the World Series for the first time since 1988. Now, moving into this past week, the NFL just hit the midway point of the season with Week 8. It's looking to be a tight race in the AFC with the Bills, Chiefs, and Steelers each vying for home field advantage going into the second half of the season. On the NFC side of things, however, it's more packed, with 6 teams sitting at or around 5-2, with the Seahawks holding a pretty commanding lead with a 6-1 record as they are led by MVP frontrunner Russell Wilson. And closing out with WVU football, the Kansas State Wildcats traveled to Morgantown this past weekend to take on the Mountaineers. K-State came out strong, putting the first points on the board with a Blake Lynch field goal, but WVU responded with a 19-yard field goal of their own to close out the first. Into the second, though, the Mountaineers do not look back, putting up 3 straight touchdowns, with the Wildcats putting up one more score right before the half. Now moving into the third, WVU puts this one out of reach with a Casey Legg field goal and a big defensive pick 6 from Bridgeport local Dylan Tonkery. The Mountaineers win this one 37-10 as they move to 4-2 on the year. That's it for sports. I'm Ian Jewell. We'll be right back.
Hello and welcome back. Melissa Stockwell, world champion para-triathlete and United States Army veteran, will be the featured speaker for Concord University's Veterans Day observance this Wednesday, November 11th. The digital program will be available for viewing online beginning at 9 a.m. Stockwell is an American war hero who has triumphed over personal tragedy to achieve greatness and world champion status, and has dedicated her life to chasing remarkable accomplishments while giving back to others, particularly those who face challenges similar to her own. While this year's ceremony won't be taking place live due to the COVID-19 pandemic, Dr. George Williams says it will still be a fitting tribute to the service and sacrifice of those who have served in the U.S. military. He invites all veterans and military personnel to join Concord's student veterans and the CU community on Veterans Day by viewing the ceremony online. The observance will also be archived on CU's website for those who cannot watch at that Wednesday. For additional information about Concord Veterans Day programs, please contact Dr. George Williams at gwilliams@concord.edu or by calling 304-384-6300.
With COVID-19 changing the world around us, we look to CU Theater to see how they have responded to recent safety protocol with Tragedy Ends Anonymous.
In a time where social distancing is very important, plans to still perform while keeping the actors and audience safe. Plans to perform a play completely on Zoom are well underway. Here now is a member of the theater fraternity Alpha Psi Omega.
Theater has been around for centuries, but COVID is starting to feel like, it's about to start to feel like a nail in the coffin to a certain extent. We don't know if the cure for the virus will be made in a year, maybe 2 years. And right now that's people not going out, that's people staying at home, that's people getting used to just being on their butts the whole time watching TV. So if we don't get things fixed here soon, theater might stay dead. No, you're not learning any new skills. Learning to do facial expressions is not a new skill. And I say this with all love about our instructor, Karen Veranch, because she is making the best out of a bad situation. I not only work in theater, I also work in TV and radio. And Zoom feels like the worst combination of all three. It would be better if we did nothing instead of Zoom to a certain extent, because soon enough that might become the standard, and if that becomes the standard, you lose most of your body to act with, you lose lighting technicians, you lose stage people, you lose a lot of theater careers that people make money out of and make passions out of, and you lose a lot of artistry for a Zoom camera.
In an effort to decrease the chance of COVID cases, Mrs. Veranch has moved theater practices and performances completely on Zoom.
Let me interrupt you 1 minute. Okay, never mind. Corey figured that out. Okay, I'm gonna make myself Juliet just for right now.
From Mountain Lion News, I'm Ross Klein.
Concord University has named Dr. Michael Bean as its Director of Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion. Dr. Bean is a professor of education at Concord, primarily teaching education leadership courses. Under this new title, he will also be working with faculty, staff, and students through efforts and initiatives designed to strengthen equity, inclusion, knowledge, and skills across the campus community. As the director, Dr. Bean hopes to create informational workshops and host monthly discussions for students, as well as collaborate with human resources and admissions using data as tools for cultivating a diverse campus community. Dr. Bean came to Concord University in the fall of 2017 from Cleveland, Ohio, where he served as a principal in a K-8 school. And that's all we have time for this week's Mountain Lion News. As always, I'm Harper Imsch.
And I'm Hannah Gates. We'll see you in 2 weeks.